Hello everyone and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 video. Today I thought I'd kick off a series where I look at add-ons and modifications for Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft and other programs such as weather engines, with special attention given to more under-the-radar add-ons, if you will. Today's video is going to highlight the DA62X project by Tommy. I'm going to have links in the description below for the aircraft and the GPS mods, both of them. You're going to need to install both to get most out of this exciting aircraft. The Diamond 62 is a twin-engine aircraft featuring a max speed of 192 knots true airspeed and a range of about 1,280 nautical miles. It's an efficient twin-engine aircraft with both utility and luxury in mind and has a sleek appearance. It comes default in the sim courtesy of Asobo, but like many of the default aircraft, it has a lot of issues with performance, handling, and fuel burn. The Diamond 62X project essentially seeks to make improvements to many of those inaccuracies and issues. Now, because it's a modification to Asobo's default aircraft, there's not much to speak to in terms of exterior model improvements. It's a beautiful looking aircraft that has the same quality the default aircraft have, but there are some tweaks to lighting. White nav lights have been added to the exterior of the aircraft, and the cockpit ambience has been tweaked to be slightly less bright or blinding. Depending on what kind of simmer you are, these range from nice to haves to being more realistic. Nonetheless, there are welcomed improvements to the default model. Engine performance and workings have been tweaked in a few ways. Fuel flow has been corrected to allow for an expanded range, a problem many default aircraft have since fuel burn is not correctly modeled as the aircraft climb in altitude. This is one of the best enhancements because it's truly maddening how Asobo released all their aircraft with the same range problem. Fuel pumps work as intended, oil coolant temperature and pressure behavior is more accurately modeled. These are things that as a casual simmer you may not notice, but for the more hardcore enthusiast, you'll find appreciation for these features. In real life, the aircraft engine is managed by a full authority digital engine control system, or FADEC. Power is set by the power lever position, and the FADEC will keep that power setting regardless of atmospheric conditions. The Diamond 62X project emulates this process and follows the documented propeller set point curve from the manufacturers. The mod comes with two modes. Standard is what you're familiar with. As you move your thrust lever or input your keybind to increase the thrust, the lever moves forward and the plane reacts accordingly. An experimental full FADEC mode has also been added, and it is activated by setting both ECU voter switches to A. Once doing this, you'll see a CAS advisory on the G1000 and the aircraft may change in behavior. When using this mode, you will control power output with your mixture axis. You will set the mixture axis to desired power level. For example, setting the mixture axis to 95% for max continuous power, and you'll notice the levers move on their own. However, it's not recommended that you do this if you don't have a physical mixer axis on your peripherals. For example, for my Thrustmaster T.16000M, I don't have a prop or I don't have designated prop and mixture axes, so I just have a single lever that I manipulate. When I set the full FADEC mode, I introduced keybinds to control mixture on my joystick, which has little buttons for me to press. And when I adjusted the mixture that way, only the left engine responded. So a really cool feature if you can work out how to use it without a mixture and propeller axis. I definitely recommend using it because all you do is set the desired power output and the aircraft will maintain that for you. The project utilizes the working title G1000 mod, which you'll have to download separately, and brings enhancements to the G1000 unit included in the aircraft. There's some added functionality that's nice to have, and some of the procedure menus are a little easier to navigate and activate. Functionality to view engine, system, and fuel information has been added and can be found at the bottom left of the MFD. And one thing I found though is that the added functionality begins to weigh on your CPU and you may experience FPS drops as I did here. One mitigation to this is to change the glass cockpit refresh rate to medium, and while this does alleviate the FPS drop, you will notice that when you're changing airspeed, altitude, or heading very quickly, you will see the impacts of dropping that to medium. In those instances, the movement of the displays might not be as clean and smooth as when it's set to high, but it does, again, you see the FPS increase here. An area where I was pleasantly surprised was with changes to the flight model. Given the state of the SDK, I wasn't expecting significant changes to the flight model, but there were a few noticeable differences. For example, here on this power on stall, there's something that resembles a brake at which the critical angle of attack is exceeded and the plane begins to stall. Compare that to the native flight model and yeah. Flight handling was a definite improvement over the default characteristics. For example, here, it seems I can at least recognize some degree of adverse yaw, something I'm pretty sure doesn't even exist in the default Cessna 172S. And if you don't know what adverse yaw is, it's the nose drifting opposite the direction the turn is going. One of the things I most appreciated about the mod was the slow flight, dirty configuration handling. When approaching to land, it often feels too easy to fly the approach and the landing. This mod certainly feels somewhat improved in regards to handling when approaching to land, and that's likely due to the changes in the lift and drag figures for the flaps and landing gear. Landings quite simply feel more involved. Ground handling of the aircraft's been improved. You no longer have to go 75% power just to taxi. Where the hell did he come from? On the systems front, there's some nice to have, such as simulated fuel and gearbox temperature readings, changes to ammeter behavior, and as mentioned previously, the lighting improvements. One feature I do want to focus on, however, is the redone anti-ice system. The real aircraft uses a weeping wing method of dispensing antifreeze product along the wing. This isn't simulated by the sim natively, however the systems will reflect a weeping wing system. For example, here as I fly in moderate icing conditions, you'll notice a high pressure warning indicating significant ice buildup on the parts of the wing where the antifreeze solution is supposed to dispense. You also see low level warnings when you're running out of solution, as well as low pressure readout when you're out of solution. All in all, this is a really cool mod to the default DA62 aircraft. If you already fly this plane, or you are looking for a decent twin engine option, then I certainly recommend giving this a download. In the description I'll have links to where you can download the plane, the working title G1000 mod, as well as some supporting documentation for features added in with this mod. Going forward, the author hopes to correct takeoff performance and add in VMC, which is the minimum controllable airspeed for single engine operations. The author also plans on redoing electrical systems and fixing feathering animations. Hope you guys give this aircraft a shot and play around with it. Leave a comment below what you think of the plane, the full FADEC system if you give it a try, and the improved G1000. And be sure to install the G1000 mod for most of this aircraft. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. If you don't break your keyboard subscribing to this channel, you're not trying hard enough. Anyway, folks, that's it for today. I had a lot of fun making this video and flying this around these last few days. And I might look to break it out for some fun on VATSIM. So, till then, guys. Later.